Have the GOAT Magnus Carlsen taking on Nihal Sarin. Two games have been completed, both of them won by Magnus. It's a 4 game match. So for S8UL's Nihal Sarin to survive, he needs to win this one at all costs. This is the third game. Let's begin. Magnus playing with the white pieces opens with e4. Nihal plays the fighting Sicilian and Magnus goes for the Alapin. It's one of the most solid weapons out there, and Magnus saying to Nihal, well, I just need a draw to go to the semi-finals of the Esports World Cup. Pawn to d5, takes, d4 played, knight comes out to f6. It's very tough to beat Magnus with the black pieces on demand. I mean, in general, Magnus has been in such situations, not just in such tournaments, but also at the World Championship matches. So, he knows how to get it done. Bishop f4, bishop comes to d6, and trade. The more pieces that come off the board, the better it is for white from the game, the match perspective. Queen c5, and he offers the trade of queens. Now Nihal here can take the queen, but he decides to play something slightly different. He goes pawn to b6, and he allows Magnus to take on c5, pawn takes c5. And now at least we have some imbalance on the board. The b file has opened up, the c5 pawn is isolated. Magnus goes rook d1, and now Nihal brings his bishop out. Knight to d2, rook c8, knight to b3, king f8, knight a5, rook b8, a3 played, and now Nihal gets his bishop away, attacking the b2 pawn. Magnus goes rook b1, the king comes in, and you go b4, getting rid of the b2 weakness, but Nihal jumps in with the knight, takes, attacking the rook here on b1. The rook comes up, and it does feel like Nihal Sarin has gotten something here. Beautiful move, g5. Absolutely lovely. Nihal realizes that he has things under control on the queen side, so he's going to push his king side pawns. f3 played, bishop goes back, pawn to b5, you take, pawn takes, and knight comes to b6. Now the knight has blockaded these pawns, and the bishop will come here, and the c pawn can run down the board, and there's king side majority. So definitely something to play for here. Knight a4, attacking the rook. If you come back, knight c3 is a massive fork. So rook c2 played, and now the bishop comes to d5. Excellent play. By the way, b5 pawn wasn't hanging because of knight d6. So that's the reason why bishop d5 played. Rook c1, defending the knight, also putting pressure on c5. Nihal goes rook c7. The knight comes back, attacking d5 and also looking at the c5 pawn. He goes bishop b3, attacking the rook. The rook comes to d2 and c4 played by Nihal. Now look at Magnus's time. He has 5 minutes 20 seconds, and he's thinking here, and he sees that there is a possibility to trade pieces, and he goes takes. And the main point here is, if you go rook c8, then there's knight to d5, ed rook e1 check, and then you pick up the bishop on b3 with a winning position. So knight to b6 played here, rook b2, attacking the bishop. And now if you had taken bishop takes c4, then rook bc2, rook here, and a4 with the idea of a5, and you win the bishop. But he goes rook takes c4, knight takes c4, bishop takes, and now rook a8, and here he goes rook b4. This was a nice move. By the way, instead of a4, rook bc2 would have given white a very good position, but a4, rook a8, rook b4, and now bishop goes back, check, king up, h4, you go h6, king comes to f2, and Nihal blocks the pawns with rook a5. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Nihal definitely has some chances. g4 is a huge mistake, and now Nihal is winning. He just has to push his pawn to e5 and bring his king here to d6, and he's completely winning because these pawns will fall. Can Nihal find it? No, he takes on a4. That was not a good move. Takes here, knight b6, rook b6, check. And now Nihal has gone for this practical line where he can get another pawn after giving up an exchange. Rook takes f3, but Magnus has the two rooks. Well, black is having potential here. Try for the win. Rook f1. Just play your rook away. Don't trade it. Then try to win with your two pawns and the bishop. But he trades, and that was not a good decision, because now Magnus simply runs back with his king. King d2, king f4, and just king e2. And there's just no way to win the pawn here on g4. Nihal thought he might be able to win. f5 played, but after takes, rook versus bishop and two pawns is a well-known draw. g4, rook comes back, check, bishop blocks, rook comes back, and Nihal has no way to make progress. He goes back, and it is a draw here by threefold repetition, and Magnus Carlsen wins the match, moves to the semi-finals. Nihal Sarin tried his best, fought hard, and you can see Magnus there just looking at the game. He wasn't too happy with what he has done here, and you can see Nihal Sarin being upset. There was a chance that he had here, and you can see Nihal and Magnus talking to each other, and then this was, maybe he'll show him the position with e5 and king e6, king d6 is what he's saying. Maybe we can have a look at that position as well. So in this position, white plays the move pawn to g4, and after that Magnus is losing because of e5, and it looks very unusual, because what's happening, the thing is, you don't need to rush into taking these pawns, because white is well coordinated. If you get your king here and then take, then this pawn is running nowhere. So for example, if king e3, by the way, here you will lose material because of knight d5. So let's say you play your rook to c1, maybe trying to go to h1. Now I can take, and just having this pawn here is very helpful. Rook a1, knight c5, and king e6, and the pawn is running nowhere. Like king d6, everything is defended, and this pawn is blocked. Black will win this game. Again, have a look at the position carefully. The c6 square is covered by the bishop. The knight covers the c8 square. Rook can go to c7, but there's nothing much to attack. Black is simply coming here, king e6, king d6, and black is completely winning here. A big miss by Nihal Sarin.
To semi-finals for Magnus Carlsen, but of course we need to exchange the keys now. As Nihal, can you please give your key to Magnus? And as Nihal has to bow out of the stage, please, can you give it up for Nihal?
You can go.
All right, Magnus, congratulations. First quick question for you. On Thursday you said you were not feeling that great. Now you're back. This looked like a pretty comfortable start for you. How do you feel right now?
Sorry.
No, I'm still, form is kind of not great, but I'm happy with the way that I managed to perform in this match. And the last two games really messy, so I was really happy not to have to play a fourth. And I'm a little bit worried for the next match as well, that it seems that my level kind of drops a bit after. I mean, seems like I only have the energy for a few games, but yeah, at least I'm through. I get a break, and then we'll see.
All right, and on the stream B as well, another match happens, so I'm letting you know as well that semi-final will be a run back from last year's Grand Final. You will face Ali Reza Firuz Shah. How do you approach this news?
Oh, yeah, I saw that he was up in the match and then he was in trouble in the last game, but I suppose he held it. And yeah, it's a very, very tough matchup. Kind of would have preferred to have that one tomorrow, but it is what it is. I'll give it my best.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Magnus. It is time for you to go and crush the key. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Magnus Carlsen!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Magnus Carlsen moves on to the semifinals as he tries to once again punch his ticket into grand finals. He takes down Nihal Sarin and will have his run back with Alireza Firouzja. Only someone of this caliber, a player of this caliber, can win convincingly like that and still is saying, oh, I feel like I'm extremely off right now. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's about that time. Magnus, you can go ahead and press it forward. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As our next key is officially being crushed. Amazing run. Okay. That's the champ right there. He's making sure it was a little bit of overkill. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Officially, Magnus Carlsen has punched his ticket into the semifinals. Congratulations, Magnus, and best of luck in your next match.